Hello YouTube and welcome to session number 6 of the Apple Teacher Professional Development Program. Today we're going to look at GarageBand. So, first thing you're going to do is open up GarageBand and you'll find all of the touch instruments which you could use to create music. I'm going to start with the keyboard. If I click into here, I will then get my basic keyboard. I have two views, so if I click on this one here, I should see I have my normal keyboard, which I can click and play. Or if I go to this button here, I then have what's like the chord mode. I also have this thing called autoplay. So if I turn this autoplay on and then press here, it will play the chord of C with a bass. Turn it off. I can change this autoplay to a different number and press it again. You'll see it plays a different melody depending on which autoplay setting you pick. If you have it turned off, it'll just play the chords. Okay. If I go back to this button here, it'll take you back to the instruments. You can have a look at the other instruments, the drums, for example. You have your drum kit. You can change your drum kit clicking here. So I can have a live rock kit. Okay. If you click the little icon at the top here, you can now see exactly which places to hit for your instruments. If I wanted the snare, it would be here. If I wanted the rim shot here, side stick. So it depends what instruments you're trying to play. If I go back to the home, I can go to another instrument. So let's go to the strings. Click on here. So at the moment we have the whole strings department together. We can take these off and then have, for example, the first violins. If I swipe, we'll get the string. If we tap, we get the pizzicato. Okay, the same thing, we've got autoplay at the top. We can change that. And now if we use 1, 2 or 3 fingers, we get the different variations. If I click on here. Now if I use 2 fingers, and use 3 fingers. Okay, and I can then add all my different instruments. And now if I autoplay it, this is what will happen. Okay. Turn off that, go back to home. And the same works for guitar and so on. They're all very similar. So in guitar we have swipe strum. If we swipe individually like this. If we tap the top, it will play the whole chord. Or you can tap individual ones and you get that note. Make it autoplay at the top here, and the same thing. Okay, so you can see that's how we play it. Now, if you want to change these chords, you can do in the settings menu. I'm not going to go into that at the minute because that's not on the Apple Teacher program. There is something called the 1564 challenge. Anyone that's an ADE will know this challenge from 2019. So if I go back to the keyboard, for example, the 1564 challenge it's C, G, A, F. in that order. And if you do the CGAF and you have autoplay turned on, you can play some really cool songs just from using these chords. So for example, okay, so you can just use this 4 chords, C, G, A, F in any order. You can change the instrument here, so instead of a grand piano, I might decide I want a synth, like this one here. And now the same thing. Okay, and you can change that in whatever style you like using this. You have effects, all sorts of things in here. Go back to let's go to a grand piano again. Now to actually record this, you would use this record button at the top. At the minute it's set to 8 bars. If you press this plus button at the end, you can change that to either automatic, so that it will play however long you record for, or you can change the manually to the bars. So I'm going to keep it 8 for now. And I'm going to turn the metronome off because I'm not using headphones. So I'm going to turn the metronome off using this button here. And now I'm going to record. It will give me a countdown and then we can start playing. Now that I've completed my 8 bars, you'll see that the recording went off. Now it will just play the song over and over. So I now have that playing. If I want to see that track, I can press this button here. And I will now see there's my track. And I can now add other instruments into this as well. So if I press this plus button down at the bottom, I might want some drums in the background. Now there's 2 sets of drums. You have the drum kit itself, which you can use, for example, as smart drums at the bottom here. And you can add in things wherever you want. So I'm going to turn this off using this button here, on and off. So I'm going to turn it off for a minute, place them where I want them. Now you have the loud and quiet and complex and simple. So if you have it in this corner up here, it's going to be complex and loud. Down here would be quiet and simple. You can use this randomizer if you want. Put it where you want. You can also play your song in the background so you can hear what it would sound like. When you're happy with it, you can then record. Go to the beginning, press record, and record. And that will work. Now if you press this button at the top again, you can see the different instruments. If I wanted to, I could make that 2 bars long just by clicking and dragging this bar at the side. And now if I tap on it, I can loop that and have it play the whole way through. Okay, if I go back to my instruments, you can also, as well as the drums, you can now also employ a drummer. Now the drummer is slightly different. It's as if you're employing a virtual drummer. You don't need to record anything, it will just happen automatically. So if I go to the acoustic here, so you have the different styles of person. So if you click on a person, you can have, for example, a pop rock, a retro rock, hard rock, a songwriter, and so on. I'm going to go for this one here, Darcy. And I'm going to decide which instruments I want to include and the complexity of these. Okay, so I'm going to have, for example, these ones on here. I'm going to have this one on like this, and I'm going to have lots of fills in it. So now this is what it will sound like. Change complexity. press stop. If I go back to my instruments, all of them together, you can see I've now got 2 sets of drums. I might decide they're too loud. If I just swipe across like this, I get my menu, so I can make that quieter. And there you go, you've got a piece of music. Now, if you wanted to, then you could also, I'm going to just save this one, so I'm going to go back here, press save, hold this down, and now I can share this as a song or as a project or as a ringtone. So I could export the song, put in my details there and share it, and it would be saved as a song. The other thing you can do in GarageBand, apart from doing, well, many things you can do in GarageBand, but one of the other things you can do is create podcasts. So you might decide you want the audio recorder on, press the voice, and then you can record the audio. I don't know how well it's going to work because I'm recording the screen, but I'll give it a go. This is an example of how to use GarageBand. Go to my audio, my different tracks. No, it's not played it. So you can see here my track is a completely straight line. It's not overriding the screen feature. So I can't show you that at the minute, but that's how you would do it. You can then include some live loops. So you can filter them by the genre or by the instrument and so on. You'll see how many bars each one is worth. They will loop, so you don't have to worry. When you want one, you just click on it and drag. And then it'll be... You can create some really good podcasts or radio advertisements using that feature there. Let's have a look what else we need to... So, loops. If I also go back home, start a new one, you have the options to... At the minute we're in track view, we have live loop view. You can choose a live loop of your choice. I'm going to go for this rock one. And you then have a live loop that you can DJ as you go along. So you can click at the bottom and it'll play all of them, or you can click them individually and it'll play that section. Okay, so that's how to do loops. You can also edit those and so on using this option down here. I think that's all I'm going to show you for today. I want you to make sure that you can get those basics before you go on to the more complex things. But please go to the Apple Teacher website, check out the GarageBand for badges for iPad, and then complete the badges at the end.